Good morning. So, October is a very special month for many reasons. It's actually my husband's favorite month. It's the month we got married, so it's a very special month. But also, in the health world, is a very special month because it's the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I have no doubts that every person in this room knows someone that has or had breast cancer. Am I right? So it's something that's very real, and for some reason, we don't seem to stop it. But then the question is it our fault? Is it whose fault? So today, we'll learn something that I don't know if you were aware of, but it's something that hopefully it will help us to spread more hope to those around us. So what is actually cancer in general? You know, we have cells in our bodies, and then basically any type of cancer starts when abnormal cells start getting together. They have no more control. They're kind of those rebellious cells that they just get together, forms a tumor, and they just try to invade. That's basically where cancer is. So it does affect women, but also men are not spared. There are some cases where men can also develop breast cancer. Now, just to give you quick ideas, normal cells at the top, they look nice and round. They have a shape. Now, the cancerous cells, as I said, these rebellious cells, they have no shape. They just kind of clump together, and they just invade wherever they can invade. Now, here is a good news. It says that 5 to 10% of breast cancer are because of genetics. But the other number, 90 to 95%, are not genetic. Isn't that a good news? And now, science is making quite some serious progress in saying that even genetics can be altered. So we've seen already some progress, but they are still not very loud on that, but we are seeing progress that even though you might have the gene, your lifestyle can activate or deactivate. The way to look at genetics load your gun, but if you don't pull the trigger, will it harm anyone? No. So that's what lifestyle does. Genetics load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. So keep that in mind. Now, as with everything, when you have something in your body that's always ready to invade, God also created, I'm seeing the gospel in this whole thing. God allowed us to have a special protein that's our guardian, and this is the P53. I mean, no matter if you don't remember the number, it's fine, but just know that there is a guardian that's right there, that God allowed it to be in our cells. And as with everything, you can help that guardian to work properly, or you can disable that guardian to not to work properly. Why do we need guardians for? To protect, right? So what kind of guardian would you hire? Would you hire someone that's fit and ready to do the job, or someone that can barely stand on its own? So I'm sure you know the answer. Now, P53, it's kind of the bodyguard of the cell. That's how you should look at it. So good thing is found in almost every cell, and it has the nickname, the guardian of the genome. And what's the job? To keep our DNA safe and healthy. Now the question is, why do we need DNA to be, to be safe? So DNA is like our instruction manual, and our lives depends on the DNA. So if DNA gets damaged, the cells can go rogue. What is rogue? Those rebellious, independent, like unexpected, unpredictable, you never know what they will do, kind of, it's kind of people that you never know what's in their minds. Like the next thing you know, they will do something that it blows your mind. Not the same with the cancer cells. So if the DNA gets damaged, it will be a great risk for developing cancerous cells. Now, what does the P53 do in our bodies? So first, as you know, our bodies, we are constantly going through cycles, like our cells. Not all of them, but most of our cells, they go through a cycle. They constantly have to multiply, because if we don't do that, we'll die. So P53 if there is like something wrong with the cell, they try to stop that cell to fix the problem. And then it helps to repair. Just think like a mechanic fixing a broken part. And also destroys the damaged ones, and or tells them to self-destruct. It's so amazing because like science, they say that, it all what it does, but in my mind it's like, but who put that in our bodies to know which one to destroy, when to destroy, how to do it? It's like in all this you see the gospel. God is so amazing. Then is a decision maker. So again, I said, who tells him to do that? Like if the damage is small, we'll fix it. If it's too big, cut it down, shut it off, destroy it. So it's always that this enzyme, it's always trying to choose what's best for our bodies. Now, what if the bodyguard fails the job? So when the p53 gene, our bodyguard, is broken or mutated in the scientific language, it cannot do the job. So the damaged cells will continue to divide, and that's when the tumor grows. Now, over half of the human cancers are involved because of the broken p53. But there is still good news to come. So I had a great curiosity to look into to see how can lifestyle affect this p53 business, because we keep hearing it's good to eat fruit and veggies, do this, do that, but why is it good? It's because our lifestyle can enable or disable the p53 to work. So regular exercise appears, and this is what I'm telling you, these are studies. This is not even from our inspired words. I like to show that what God has already revealed to us many years ago, finally science is slowly catching up. So exercise, it will enhance the function. That means it will strengthen that bodyguard to do its work properly and to reduce the risk of cancer. Now, in contrast, the sedentary lifestyle is also associated with an increased mutation, which means destroying of the p53, which makes us more susceptible to have more cancer cells. Then again, a diet rich in fruit and vegetables, and particularly cruciferous vegetables, like kale, broccoli, cabbage, and there is a whole list of that. It has a very protective activity of this p53, and also there are some more recent research showing that it's actually attacking the cancer cells, these cruciferous vegetables. Now, poor nutrition, like refined foods, sugar, all these things that are just not healthy for our human body, it actually disables the function of p53. That's why it's so important to really read your labels. Don't just look at the big label that says natural. Read the label, the smaller print. Don't just put anything in your body, especially if you know that you're susceptible to. I mean, we are all actually fighting daily with cancer cells. But some of us have, not the best genetics, and then we have to be extra careful what we put in our bodies. So, and it's not just this. I didn't have time to go through all this, but the whole new start, it's actually to enable the p53 to do its job, the whole new start. So it's quite encouraging. Now, there are some factors that you cannot control and factors that we can control. With the part of the factors that you cannot control, the genes is actually debatable because a lot of it can be controlled. As I said, it depends on our lifestyle a lot. So we can do exercise, we can choose to eat properly. I don't think it's the case to talk about alcohol, also, and smoking. Something that we have to be aware, radiation. Be careful when you have, I'm not saying that you should never have, x-rays done, but make sure it's something genuine. Because I know people, they come to the hospitals and they have a little stomach ache. Of course, they ask you to do a CT. Just to give an idea, a CT, it's like between 400 to 600 x-ray at once. That's a CT. Now, if you have a couple of these CTs, in a month, you are really damaging your cells big time, and your risk of dying of cancer will be much higher than whatever you may have going on. So please keep in mind, I'm not saying that you should never have this, but just weigh the pros and cons really carefully. And of course, striving to have a healthy weight as well. Now, in conclusion, for me, it's very encouraging that God has given us the ability to make choices, and that lifestyle has a big role to play in our fight against those cancerous cells that we are fighting daily. So let's try to keep our choices wise. Now, I do have a fun fact to share about elephants. I learned this recently. I didn't know about it, which I think it's quite interesting. So the elephants have 20 copies of this p53 gene. We have only one. So this helps the elephants to avoid cancer, even though they're huge. So it's quite interesting. You never see elephants develop cancer. So that's kind of interesting how God works. And, of course, the references from the studies. May truly the Lord help us to take serious these things, not to be part of those stiff-necked people that we keep reading in the Bible. So may we truly be open to hear his voice today. Amen.